Hello, loves. Today we're going to talk about navigating and maintaining divine union energies in physical world. Okay, this is going to be beneficial for you wherever you are on your journey, because from my understanding in truth, the counterparts, the relationships, the twin flames on the planet right now are all in some form of a harmonization process because we're supporting the transition and the shift from the older templates of relationships into the new. So it's all very much a dance, as any of you can probably attest to. With that, I also want to speak very candidly and authentically with you, as I always am. I checked in to be sure that it was in alignment for me to share these messages with you in the way that I'm going to, because although I am definitely holding inner union energies, unity consciousness, and there is a definite peacefulness in my personal connection, and I'm in a harmonization process, I am not in a full 3D physically manifested divine union situation. And it feels very important to share that with you. I myself, in the past, really questioned, was it appropriate for me to be here speaking to you about these subjects if I wasn't in that position? And my highest self and my guidance continued to urge me, despite my resistance, to come on here and share with you the energies that I'm navigating from my perspective, because there is a tremendous amount of value in my ability to own where I am and understand the value of every experience that I've been allowing myself to walk through and that I've been sharing and holding space with in my connection. Because within my connection, our number one priority has been to sustain these unity consciousness energies, not only for ourselves as individuals and within our connection, but for every area of our life. And so there's been a lot of bigger harmonization energies happening because, as any of you know, as you're on this path and you're learning through your initiation and your connection, you're applying that to every area of your life. Or if you're not doing that yet, I'm going to encourage you to, because that's going to be a very important piece of sustaining union with your counterpart in the physical world, however you choose to partake in that process. Okay. And another thing is the ability, when you're in union, when you're in physical union, still, no matter what is happening, allowing yourselves each as individuals the sovereignty in energy, in the space, and the grace to go ahead and process whatever each of you are experiencing as individuals. So, regardless of the status of your connection, if you're triggered, if something is coming up in your system, the first step that you want to take, first and foremost, is a step back and to go spend some time with yourself, for yourself, to sort through which part of the trigger is some old energies and essences that are just needing to move through, whether it's ancestral, past life, collective patterning, maybe even energies that you and your counterpart or are mirroring or transmuting together. As you go in as an individual and look at your part of the trigger and transmute the trigger, and then come back to the table in a calm state, right? And if there's still something to discuss or share or integrate and calibrate with the counterpart, you do that after you've taken that time to go within and sort through it for yourself. Okay, this feels like an important piece because the depth of these connections are so entirely incredible. They take us to the depths of who we are. This is why I say I'm in a harmonization process, because I'm aware that I'm still processing into the depths of some of who I am and into the depths of my connection. Okay. And learning the dance of how to move through this. And these are some of the things that I've found and have had success with. Okay. So that's why I'm sharing them. Okay. Also, as you see me using myself as an example, it is important for us to be truthful and honest and authentic with ourselves around what we're actually able to embody and sustain. Okay. Like there are certain pieces and pockets I know that I'm capable of sustaining right here and right now. But I also know that an hour from now, something may come up that I'm not aware of in this specific present moment that could open up something I'm not aware of, and I may not be able to embody and fully navigate it in that moment, Okay. I'll be able to handle my trigger and do what I'm telling you, which is to take space and find my truth for myself within that. But it doesn't mean that I have every trigger figured out in every single moment, okay? But this is the process that we are in. So whether you are in this physical world, manifested connection, whether you're married, you're living together, just starting to have conversations again, whether you're communicating in the ethers, whether your counterpart is crossed over to the other side, whatever your situation, because there are many unique situations, there is always these opportunities to learn these processes. In fact, chances are if you're here and you've been initiated into this journey, these are all going to become very important. Authenticity is a signal that we are in divine union energies. Our ability to be comfortable in where we truly are versus trying to pretend we're somewhere that we're not, okay? Or thinking that we've failed because we're not where we're supposed to be. Those are all things we're unraveling. We're learning how to fully drop into being present with what is true, being present with what actually is. And when we can learn to do that within ourselves and own it comfortably, despite how people might judge it or view it or think about it or whatever have you, when we can get to the space of understanding that the people that understand us and resonate with us get what we're saying and connect with it, then that's who those things are for. And if people judge it or don't like it or think of it in a different way, that's okay too. Everyone is allowed to have their own opinion and perspective, but just your job is to be your authentic self with everyone all of the time or as much as possible, right? And I say, yes, all of the time or as much as possible because sometimes we hit those pockets of uncertainty. We go into situations, conversations, or experiences where we might not know how we feel about it in the moment. Maybe we knew from our old version, but what about now? Because we've changed and we've grown a lot. So, especially for those of you that are, say, you've been with a counterpart and then you had some separation and now you're coming back into union energies and you're starting to navigate those energies, you're applying now the results of everything that you've been learning to your connection, but you're also dropping those in deeper for yourself. So it's important to continue to practice what you've been learning while you were out on your own. Okay. And I also know there's some of you who haven't gone into like full no contact situations, even though you've kind of considered yourself in some form of a separation. And in these situations, you're learning how to navigate your sovereignty and be in an interdependent relationship simultaneously, no matter what stage of your connection you are in. Okay. Remember, at the soul level, at the highest level, this is your true twin flame. You are one system. So you're always connected. You're always in some form of union. Okay. So this is learning how to take those union energies and embody them within yourself and then embody them within your connection. So this is a true statement in my understanding, even when you're in physical union together. This part of understanding that that focus starts within you is going to be what allows you to have a successful maintaining energy of your connection in the physical world. Okay. Does this mean it's going to be perfect all of the time? Absolutely not. These are intense connections that have brought up the depths of things to our space so that we could look at them and learn how to navigate them. Some of the other important pieces to know is that this person is there to support you in finding these pockets and transmuting them, like as my voice is doing right now. How funny is that? Okay. So, really, in my eyes, in my understanding, what actually would be a very perfect scenario, in a sense, is where you're comfortable knowing that things are going to come up and that you're going to work together to work through them. Okay. You're each going to give one another space and grace to find out and discover how you feel about topics individually. Yes, you're going to have an influence on one another and you're going to find things that you sync up on and agree with in almost uncanny, synchronistic, you know, energies, like it just is like you'll know, like, oh wow, like they just get me. And there's going to be other things where you're coming from a different perspective, but that's beautiful, right? Because it's the one bigger system working within the extremes to bring things into harmony and unity consciousness. So when you're coming from opposing sides, so to speak, know that that's actually a pocket where you agreed to harmonize the energies within yourselves and within your connection. Okay. And this is how we get deeper and deeper and deeper into holding unity consciousness. These reasons are why these connections are so incredibly gorgeous. In my awareness, my higher self, my guidance has said the twins, the divine counterpart connections that come into this unity consciousness are the true power couples on this planet, because it's not just about being a power couple financially. It's about being a power couple in all of the areas of life. That potential and ability is within you, is within us. It's seated within us. It's the truth of who we are. And this is about remembering our true power as individuals and as partners. Okay. Like I said in a couple videos ago, divine counter partnership. Okay. It's learning to navigate energies with another physical being, right? Another being, the same way we're learning how to come into inner union with all of our aspects. And then for those of you in a twin flame connection, will probably have found the deeper you work with your aspects and come into that inner union, that your divine counterpart is also that aspect of you. There really isn't separation, regardless of how things look in the external world. They are you and you are them. Okay. For those of you who have experienced that experience, you'll know what I'm talking about. Okay. And those are some of the ways that you're going to know that you're in a unity consciousness state, okay? But also maintaining that in the physical world is giving yourself the respect and the space and the grace and the unconditional love of continuing to navigate your own personal process, and also then mirroring and offering that same exact process and space to your counterpart. Okay. And the beauty of this is, and why it's important, is because say there's one bigger system that you both are within. Okay, you each have your own bubble. Okay, you each have your own sovereign energy and bubble, right? That you're learning to navigate your inner union. But then there's a bigger overall shared space, a bigger bubble that houses both of you as one unit. It's helpful to view it in that way, right? Because you're responsible for your part first. They're responsible for their part first. Because without that, right, how are you going to be able to support one another? It's within supporting yourself that allows that overall energy to come together in that unity consciousness. And now in my mind's eye, they're showing me the yin yang symbol, right? Like the yin yang within the yin yang. Okay. So you're finding that energy within yourself, and then they're finding it within themselves, and then it amplifies within the bigger energies. So you're each doing your part. Okay. I know that there is a lot to this. There's so much more that we can talk about, but it really feels like focusing on navigating your part authentically. If you are not sure how you feel about something or you're triggered, that is when you take your space and grace to go sort that through for yourself first. Then you return to the table and have that deeper conversation with your counterpart. You're also going to know if there's a space or a place where you need to go engage and connect and talk to your counterpart so that you can gain a deeper understanding from their perspective, right? Because of course you hold codes for one another that are exceedingly powerful, okay? Most importantly, you can understand these intellectually. If they're not fully embodied at the moment, that's okay. Again, you're giving yourself the space and grace to embody them because intellectually understanding them is important, but it's through allowing ourselves the embodiment process that allows us to sustain and maintain these codes, these informations, these energies. Okay. And just planetarily in general, the overall collectives are in these harmonization processes and probably will be for a bit because we're supporting the entire planetary evolutionary process of these relationship interdependent energies. Okay. So remember that you guys are doing way more than just figuring this out for yourself. Each thing that you're navigating, each thing that you're authentically owning, each thing that you're authentically saying, you know what, I don't know that yet, but I'm going to drop into it and get some clarity and truth for myself. And as you embody that, then you share it. Okay. And but that's the powerful process that is allowing these shifts to happen. It's the embodiment process. So, whatever you're going through, whatever situation is occurring within your connection, you set the intention of what it is that you want to create within that. And then you know between there and where you want to be is where you're going to embody these energies. So clearing out, unraveling any of the old beliefs, any of the old triggers, like you get what I'm saying. So you're dancing with the work that you've already been doing, but now you're doing it in a bigger way within your connection. Okay. All right, loves. Yes, I think we're going to leave it there. I hope that this was helpful. I hope that it makes sense to you. Please drop your comments or questions down in the body because I do feel like there's more to this. And I'm definitely open to talking about more of this with you. All right. I feel like my wheels kind of turning. And I know some of you have also asked about how to call forth and stabilize union energies, which I think many of us are deeply in the process of doing right now. So I'll be coming on soon with some of that information as well. All right, loves. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. I really hope that this was helpful for you, and we'll chat soon. Love you.